Wait. Oh, hey, here we go. I believe we are live. I hope everybody can hear us. Let me see if I can go back to the broadcast and see if... Okay. All right, bear with us, guys. We're trying to figure all this out. Remember, this is our first one, so I'm wanting to see if we can see... Let's refresh here. Sure enough, there we are.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go back here. Wish there was a way I could see if people are chatting with us. There you go. Okay, so I have a chat section open. I know this is using Google Hangout. So if you're on Google Hangout, maybe if you sign in, you'll be able to see. I'm going to check with somebody real quick. I'm going to do a sound check, make sure it sounds okay. Again, thanks guys for bearing with us. This is our first time, so we're kind of doing some technical things to make sure everything is working good. If you're on, like I said, if you're on Google Hangout or Google Chats or Google Plus, I believe you can. No, I don't see your. Let's see. Someone put a comment. I guess someone asked if I saw their comment. I don't see your comment, Clay. All right, so maybe we'll mess with that more next time on the comments of Google Hangout, of the chat. So what we're going to do is we're going to start recording for the. I remember, if you guys know, like I said, we are going to do this also for the audio podcast. So I'm going to start recording. I got my little recorder here, and we're going to start recording for the podcast. So here we go for the Disc Golf Answer Man. Hey everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I'm Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and I've got with me, of course, Eric McCabe. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing pretty good. Not too bad.
Well, I'm pretty excited. This is our first time doing a live broadcast of our show. Yeah. We're going to keep doing the audio part for iTunes, but then have for YouTube, for the followers and fans of YouTube channel for Dynamic Discs. We're going to have this out here for everybody to watch and enjoy. And if you have a Google Plus or are on Google Hangout for our next show, if you want to be ready for it, I think you should be able to chat with us, maybe ask us questions, and we can actually take live questions. But
nice.
Right now we're going to go off the questions that people sent into our show, which is the discgolfanswerman.com. But first,
let's do a little disc review, too.
Yeah, well, we'll do the disc review.
We'll do that in a minute.
But first, let's talk about what's been going on.
Okay. Well, I've been back in Emporia for quite some time, really. I played an event this weekend, Waco, DD event. I played okay the first round, not too bad, and then had a couple bad breaks coming down the stretch and ended up losing by 1 stroke.
Oh,
got second. But it's whatever, back to the practice field kind of thing. So,
sure,
and
cool.
It's the weather's finally starting to turn. It looks
nice.
It's going to be a little breezy today, but it's going to be in the 70s.
Nice.
And then I think tomorrow is supposed to drop again, and then back up in the 50s and 60s all next week. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Anything going on next weekend for tournament-wise?
Not really.
No?
Around, I plan on just working on my game a little bit, and then getting ready for Texas State Championships the following weekend.
Nice. Well, for you guys that are in the Emporia area or in the surrounding areas, I know the Monkey Island Open is coming up in a couple weeks.
That is the same weekend as the Texas State Championship,
so
I will unfortunately not make it to the Monkey Island this year.
Okay, we'll get. But if you want to, you're in the area, like I said, you can sign up for the Monkey Island Open for here in Emporia. I know that's always a cool event. Hopefully, and from the looks of the weather, we won't get the snow like we got back. I think it was 2010.
2010, I believe it was.
It was like the Friday.
Insane.
Yeah, it was perfect short weather.
Yeah.
Then I think about 3, 4 o'clock, you could feel literally the temperature drop like 20 degrees. And
I think we have video.
Yeah,
from the final round.
Yes, and so from the video, I'll post on the blog. I'll post it on our blog. But everybody's playing in 3 to 4 inches of snow.
Crazy.
That was crazy. So anyway, and then after that, of course, we got the Texas Amateur Championships, which is at the end of March, and that's going to be played in Cedar Hill, Texas. So if you're out in that area, get ready to play over there. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, when we were at the Cedar Hill Chill, no, Cedar Hill Chill, I interviewed Dixon Jowers and A-Ray. In one of the last episodes, we had Dixon on there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have A-Ray on here. So it was a pre-recorded interview. So we're going to hop right over to that interview. Now, you guys watching, I don't know how I'm going to get the interviews on. Maybe next time I'll be able to have the interviews ready for you guys. So, but if you want to listen to that interview of A-Ray and get to know him, a dynamic disc team player, then go to iTunes and listen to the show. So for this part, we're going to jump right into the disc review. So right before we sat down and set up all the equipment, Eric and I went out to the field out here at the distribution center, and Eric threw some of the new discs that we have out. I filmed it so that we could put it on the YouTube channel, and I'll put that together and put that out there. But I thought we'd talk about a couple of them that we threw.
Yeah.
So what do you got for us, Eric?
Well, we've got both Westside discs. The first one is the Sorcerer, and we have it in both plastics, the tournament plastic and the VIP plastic as well. It's a speed 13, glide 6, turn 0, fade 2. This disc is super fast, and it's a little understable for my liking in the TP plastic, but I really think that the VIP plastic could very well be one of the longest flyers that we have. It's a little pop-toppy, which I really like for more air to get under it, more glide, and I really think this disc is going to fly an absolute mile.
Nice.
So
nice. I know you had some good throws out there when we were out there filming. What I always think is cool about Westside is all their, I don't know if you can see it, but the graphics that they use are really cool.
Yes.
So that's the little Sorcerer there.
The Sorcerer.
And I threw it, and I think it's too much of a disc for me. It kept going to the left for me. Even if I tried to throw it as straight as I could, it kept going left for me. So it might be too much of a disc for me. I don't know. So
never know. It could be a headwind too. I mean,
that's true. Yeah, I was throwing in a headwind.
It could be a good headwind disc.
Yeah.
So
what do you got? What else you got?
This one is one that I'm really excited about. The Harp.
Yes.
You want to grab that one?
Yeah.
Right now it's only available in the BT soft plastic, which I'm usually not a fan of softer plastic.
Yeah.
But man, this thing feels really good in the hand. It's very grippy, and I know it's going to grip the chains very well. It's labeled as, I believe, a putt and approach.
Yeah.
But I'm going to, for me at least, it's going to be more of a thrower off the tee or in approaches.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to use it for. It's very, very overstable. I'm going to say it's probably one of the most overstable putters in the Trilogy line for sure.
Wow.
And, out there I was throwing them into both headwind and tailwind, and pretty flat release, and throwing about 80 to 90%, and they were not wanting to turn at all. They were just wanting to fly fairly straight and then just dump.
Wow.
So I think it's going to be a very good, predictable disc, and I'm personally very excited about it. I cannot wait for the BT Hards or maybe the VIP or the TP Plastic. I think that's going to be a really good disc.
Another thing, like I said before, the graphics that Westside uses, I always think it's really cool. But one thing that I think it's cool they do is they'll have like an English version of their stamp, and you'll see there it says the Harp, and then they'll have their Finnish stamp right there,
which is really cool.
Yeah. So if you're kind of a collector and you like a certain disc in Westside, you can get both versions, the English and the Finnish version. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, like I said before, we filmed it. So stay tuned to the YouTube channel here, and we'll have, now that the weather's really nice, we're going to do a lot more disc reviews. Going to get Eric out in the field and have him throw some discs, and some other people to show different levels of play. But just real quick review so you guys can see how they throw and what they do in the wind and things like that. So look forward to that for sure.
Yes.
All right, so next up we have, let's see, we want to make sure we make mention of the Trilogy Challenge. I posted a picture to the Trilogy Challenge Facebook page. If you don't know, there is a Trilogy Challenge Facebook page. You can go out there and get all the news you need to know about the Trilogy Challenge. Once again, we want to make sure we emphasize that the Trilogy Challenge is not something that the DD crew is going to come out and do, but something that you do, local club, any organization, if you need a way to help raise funds for park improvement, course improvement,
new courses,
new baskets. It's just a way to help you raise some extra money.
Great as for tournament fundraising as well.
Yeah. So. And so anyway, I posted the picture of the new thief. which is the Dynamic Discs driver, and it's one of our contributions to the 3-disc lineup that is going to be played in the Trilogy Challenge. So for more information on the Trilogy Challenge, you want to make sure you go to trilogychallenge.com and check that out. But the Thief looks like it's going to be a nice disc for a lot of people.
Yes. I think it's going to be a very versatile disc that a lot of people can actually throw.
Have you had a chance to throw it yet? I can't remember.
I have not actually had the chance to throw that one yet. I've thrown The Witness. Yeah. But I have not had a chance to get out and actually throw the Thief just yet.
I threw it a couple times, and for sure it is going in my bag. I really like that disc for sure. So I may have to sign up for a Trilogy Challenge to get one.
There you go. That's the only way you're going to be able to get one this year. So
okay, well, that's it for announcements and anything like that. We're going to hop right over to the questions. And we want to thank everybody for submitting your questions. Remember, you go to discgolfanswerman.com. And there's a little submit your question button there, and send it to us. It emails me, and I get them all ready, and we ask Eric, and he gives you his awesome Eric advice. I'm going to patent that. Awesome
Eric advice.
So now, since we have the computer screen up so that we can do the live, I need to find the questions on my phone, so bear with us, folks. All right, that is not the first question. All right, the first question is from his first name. He put B. So he says, "Hey, enjoy the show very much, guys. Your show has convinced me to try some of the DD plastic that I normally wouldn't." Awesome. "I love the truth. I'm excited about throwing different molds from the Trilogy family." Here's his question. "I'm a 36-year-old 960 rated player. Been playing steady for a year now. I took a 10-year break from tourneys for family and work. I'm looking to up my game and step to the next level. I'm doing weekly field work as well as putting daily. I have a lot of tourneys scheduled for this season, so I'm anticipating the competition. Last year I did pretty average in tourneys, but I did have a couple of AM wins and some top 5 pro finishes. Nice. I definitely noticed more fluctuation in the highs and lows of the game. I assume time will help on that side of things. Any advice would help."
Nice. Well, first off, congratulations for getting back into it and getting out there and wanting to get better and improve your game by practicing, getting out in the field and doing a lot of extra putting and all that. Something I would definitely recommend is continue that along with tournaments. And it says, that you'd won a few amateur events last year and finished top 5 in some open events. That's great. I've always said, moving out, playing with people that are actually better than you will make you a better player. And so that's definitely, you're on the right track, and I would just keep on trucking, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely sounds like he's on the right track for all the practicing he's doing.
And I'm happy he likes the truth.
Yes, the truth. If you don't have a truth, you need to get a truth. And that is the truth.
That is the truth.
All right, the next one is from Tompa Lompa.
Tompa? What could this guy possibly need from me?
Okay, just in case you guys don't know, Tompa Lompa is actually Tomas.
Tomas.
Who is, if you throw any of the Westside Dynamic Discs or Latitude 64 discs, this is the guy that created them.
Yes, he's the genius.
He's the genius behind them. So he says, "Hi, Eric and Bobby. I have a question for Eric. How do you set up a good roller? Do you aim at the ground on a specific distance and imagine the angle the disc should have if you hit the spot? Do you prefer an understable roller disc, or do you have a stable disc and put more anhyzer on it? How do you know what the disc will do on the ground? For example, how much will it turn? Thanks for the good show. Sincerely, Tompa Lompa."
Nice.
Oh, he did have a suggestion. He wanted us to maybe speak some Swedish.
Oh.
I don't see that happening.
Maybe some translation.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, a little caption.
Yeah, there you go. Well, good question, Tompa. And for one, I'm really looking forward to seeing him come out for GBO this year.
Yeah.
For me, on the roller angle, I like to throw something a little bit more stable and put it on a roller line. I know a lot of people throw pretty flippy discs, keep it the same, throw it nice and level, and let the disc do the work, so to speak. And for me, I prefer something a little bit more stable. Right now, I'm throwing either a VIP King or a Lucid Renegade as my rollers. And a lot of the times, I'll bring it up over on a roller line and let it hit the ground. And those discs are fairly stable rollers, so it means me and right-handed, they're going to finish left. They're always going to pop over to the right at the end, but they're going to ride left, kind of like a cut roll, so to speak. So it's really just something you got to get out and do. Rollers are not something that just, boom, suddenly I can throw a roller. It's something you can practice and practice and practice. And a lot of times it depends on the terrain, what kind of course you're at, what the roller's going to do when it hits the ground, if there's a lot of sticks or rocks or anything like that in the fairway. So I recommend just getting out into a field and grabbing some discs and seeing which one works.
Now, for some of the people that listen to our show, some of the beginners, why would one want to throw a roller?
There's a couple reasons, really. A lot of players can throw a roller farther than they can throw an air shot. So pure distance. I know another reason, a lot of the reason I'll throw a roller on a hole is if it's a low ceiling and I need to get further down the fairway.
Nice. And I know something that not always we use a roller right off the tee pad. I mean, some people need to get around a tree a certain way. They'll,
or if there's a mando or something along those lines, or they're in the woods and they just kind of want to get out, they'll throw like a little two-finger roller, forehand roller.
Awesome. All right, good question. All right, the next one is from Michael, and Michael says, "Hey guys, love the podcast." Well, we love you, Michael.
Yes.
I hadn't thrown many dynamic discs and was able to play in a 2-disc challenge. Awesome. I was lucky enough to win as well and got a stack of sweet plastic. I fell in love with the judge. It has taken over in my bag as I go to. Oh, nice. I have a stack of old AVRs that I putted with and practiced with. I've noticed a significant difference in their flight and was wondering if I should stop practicing. If I should stop practicing with both putters, or if practicing with both won't affect my putting game.
Well, I don't know how much it'll really affect your putting game, but I've always stressed for a very, very long time when practicing putting, you want to be consistent. You want to have the same putter because a disc like an AVR and a judge do fly completely different, which means when you're putting, you're putting them on different lines. So definitely you're practicing not necessarily in a wrong way, but like I said, I've always recommended getting a stack of whatever you putt with. So it sounds like you need to get a stack of judges and just putt with those. The AVR is a great putter as well, and I mean, if it's just really personal preference. And I would recommend getting yourself a handful more judges and getting out there and practicing with those. Not necessarily that it's hurting your game, but it's probably not helping.
Yeah, because I can see, the whole purpose of practicing is so that when you're actually in the game, in the tournament, you're mimicking what you practice.
Exactly. It's being consistent and putting in the putter on the right line that you need to for that repetition.
Right. So if you're falling in love with the judge, which, being the 2013 Throwers Choice Disc of the Year, it is a very good putter and a very good disc. Then we recommend kind of saving up and start, building your stack of judges. In fact, I had someone on Twitter say that he was ordering his 6th one.
Nice.
Just because he just fell in love with the judge, so he's ordering 6 of them.
Seems like everyone that picks that disc up just falls in love.
Oh, I love it. So, all right, the next one is from Anthony. Anthony says, "What is your opinion on the new West Side releases?" Oh, well, he actually mentions 2 of the ones we talked about.
Nice.
He asked about the Sorcerer, the Hatchet, and the Harp. I haven't been able to throw any of them, but I'm hearing very different reviews on them. Some people say the Sorcerer is like a trespass. Others say like a bolt. Same with the Harp. Some say it's really overstable. Others say it's just straight.
Well, I think as far as the Harp goes, being overstable or straight, I think it just all depends on, 1, who's throwing it, and 2, what kind of wind condition they're throwing it into. Because, we were out there throwing a pretty decent wind today, and it was pretty overstable. I couldn't get it to flip and ride at all. And I think a lot of it also is the BT soft plastic that it comes in. It could be a little variation on how it flies. I think if you get it on a little stiffer plastic when the hard comes out or the VIP or the TP comes out, then you're going to get more of a consistent flight out of it. And that's the Harp. But the Sorcerer, I wouldn't compare it to, for me, either a trespass or a bolt. Yeah. It's quite a bit faster, I would say. I know the Bolt and the Trespass are both pretty fast discs, but I think the Sorcerer, at least in the VIP plastic, is going to be a little bit more overstable than a Bolt. Maybe not quite as a Trespass, but it's going to go a lot further.
Nice. I know. Yeah, I threw the harp, and for my arm speed, I mean, it was almost like as soon as I released it,
As soon as it came out.
Yeah, as soon as it came out of my arm, it was like on a turn
Mhm.
there. So yeah, it's definitely turned. Now, speaking of these 3 discs, like we said at the beginning of this, we have the Hatchet was one of the ones that we had on video. So again, here in give me at least about a week.
Yeah.
So.
Bobby's very busy.
Very busy, but give me some time, and then we'll get those disc review videos out there, and it'll be the Harp, the Hatchet, the Sorcerer, Witness,
Air Escape.
Air Escape, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric Escape.
Eric Escape.
Eric Escape. All right, the next one is from Earl, and Earl says, "Great show, you guys. Thanks for all the hard work." Well, thank you, Earl.
Thank you, Earl.
I just wanted to get your take on Johnny McCabe and his great start to the 2014 season.
Nice.
Like his accomplishments compared to some of the young guns out there now. Thanks for your time, Earl.
Nice. Well, Johnny McCabe, he is fresh on tour this year. It's his first year he's actually gone out on tour. He's been playing for years. Throws all Gateway. And he's just an all-around great guy.
He is.
I had the honor to play with him a couple times down at the Texas events, and he beat me at both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I got second to him at both of them. The guy's amazing. He has a new outlook on life, I know, and him and his wife bought an RV, hit the road, and said, "Let's do this. Why not?" And I think a lot of that is helping his mental game on the road.
Yeah.
Being that he knows what it's like. He worked for 20 plus years, 40 hours a week. So he knows what that grind is like. And to be able to be out on the road, different city, playing a new disc golf course, new tournament every week, just loving life, that helps a lot with your game.
Yep.
If you can just stay positive, if everybody out there could be as positive as Johnny McCabe, wow, this world would be a lot better place. I'll tell you that right now.
He is a cool guy, and like Eric said, he was at a couple of our Texas tournaments, and I filmed the lead cards for those. So I got to film him, and I'm telling you, he could throw a disc.
Yes, he can.
And he is the nicest guy. His wife is the nicest lady. I did a special little interview for them, and it'll be on the one of the videos for, I can't remember if it was the
Cedar Hill.
Was it Cedar Hill one? I think it was one. But I interviewed him, kind of talking about his story and everything. And he's got a blog out there. I think it's called JohnnyMcCraeTour.com. And I'll make sure
it's about time tour.
Something like that. And I'll put the link in there once I find out exactly what the link is. But yeah, it's just a really cool story. So definitely give props to him for getting out there and living the dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if it was a little later than some people would think would normally do it. So.
Well, I know he won his first 4 tournaments in a row to start the year, and then got second at the Memorial.
At the Memorial,
which is simply amazing.
With all those top guns out there.
Yeah, it was awesome. He's on a high right now, and I'm very happy for him.
Yeah. All right, so the next one is from Jamie, and Jamie says, "Sometimes when I practice, especially putting, I get to a point where nothing goes correctly. I miss all my shots, and nothing I do seems to correct the situation. Usually when this happens at the beginning of my practice time, I was doing well, but then I degrade to a general state of suckiness. I generally solve this issue by not practicing any longer and doing something else. What do you do to correct this type of problem?"
That's a great question right there. Regroup. If you're getting frustrated and you're missing all your practice putts and things just aren't going your way, you just need to regroup. You need to just stop for a minute, go in, take a break, go for a run, go for a bike ride, do whatever you need to do to get your mind off of it right away, and come back and refocus and maybe move closer to the basket. If you're only 30, 40 feet out, putting and missing, 10, 15 footers, get in there, get your confidence back up. Then move back out. Then being, a little bit longer putts, 30, 40, 45 feet. I wouldn't go too much further than that. But if you're missing your putts, just simply move up.
Yeah. And you've said that before with a different question, and I have to do that myself when I'm out there. Even when we were out there the other day, and it was just for fun. I was like trying to do these long putts, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I got closer, and I felt like Superman. No,
it would be amazing. It's amazing how much your confidence level goes up when you're actually making your putts.
Yeah. And so I got closer, and in my mind, I'm thinking, this is typically, I don't usually get the monster putts. And so this is typically where I'm at, so I need to be concentrating more on that distance. So.
Yeah.
All right,
it's all about staying in your level.
Yep.
So
next one is from Adam, and Adam says, "Hey guys, I'm a youth pastor and want to get the students interested in disc golf. We're going to do a Ring of Fire, but I was wondering if there were any other. Sorry, his sentence. Let's see. But I was wondering if there were other game types we could do with about 15 people as well. We usually have about 30 minutes to play games before we break for a lesson. I have a portable basket, so we can pretty much anywhere."
Cool. Nice. You know, there's a couple games that you can play. I mean, maybe not quite as many when you have 15 kids out there, because kids' attention span can be a little shorter than most people. So you know, making them stand in a long line is never a good idea. So the Ring of Fire is definitely what I would recommend is setting up and doing. And if you have a portable basket, maybe just setting up like a little temporary course with different tee pads on it. You know, where people are throwing to the same basket from, you know, maybe not at the same time, but, you know, just set up a little course. Or I really like the idea of the Ring of Fire, because that really pumps those kids up when they make one. They get so excited, and like I said, the attention span's not quite as long as it probably could be. So I would definitely just stick to what you're up to, and thank you for showing kids the sport. You know, it's all about growing the sport and getting the next generation involved, and keeping it fun for these kids.
Yeah, absolutely. One game I just thought of, because I remember that one time, I can't remember if the Glassbone Open, but it was me, you, Liz, Yeti, and somebody else, I can't remember. And we played kind of like a game of horse.
21. Didn't we play 21?
Oh, yeah, we played 21.
21.
Yeah, how does that work?
21 it's just like in basketball, really. You have, you know, with 15 people it could be difficult.
Yeah.
But if you have a smaller group of people and doing this, you get certain points you get point. I think it's 1 point for basket. You get 2 points for chains, and then you get 3 points for making it. And the first one to 21 wins.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of fun. You can make up your own rules and do your own thing that way. But definitely don't really recommend playing a game like 21 with 15 kids. But yeah, like I said, just keep it fun, and they'll come back.
They'll come back for more.
Oh, yeah.
All right, the next question is from Dr. Blam. Blam says, "I'm looking for an overstable mid-range for the wind. Eric,
Yes.
What's the best option for me from the trilogy?"
Overstable mid-range. Well, for me, I've been throwing the Lucid Verdict as my overstable mid-range for headwind shots, or pretty much any shot, really. I've noticed that it flies almost like let's say we have a 15 to 20 mile an hour headwind, and I throw it into that. It flies just like my Truth does when there's no wind. So it's very predictable, and it also just kind of depends on how far he wants. You know, I mean, this Harp is a very, very good headwind disc that I've noticed today.
Yeah.
But I would definitely grab a Verdict, go out there, and give it a try.
Now, why would someone want an overstable mid-range?
Well, predictable. It's very predictable. You know what it's going to do. I think it's easier to throw an overstable disc as opposed to an understable disc, especially into headwind, because when you throw something into headwind, something that's understable, most likely is going to flip over and probably turn into a cut roller.
Okay.
As where an overstable disc, you can put the same power behind it, flatter, you know, just like you would throw a normal shot into no kind of wind that you're used to, and it'll fly the same.
Nice. All right, so let's see. Next question is from Brian. Brian says, "Hey guys, I just got the Witness last week and I love it." All caps. "I have never experienced a disc that stood up for me and continued to roll forward. I'm a right-hand backhand player and was already jealous of my friends who threw sidearm because they always got that little bit of extra roll after the disc hit the ground. My question is this: are there any mid-ranges out there that might give me the same ability to turn into a roller at the end of my throw, or perhaps a technique I could use to make any throws into rollers? Thanks a lot, you guys rock. If you're ever up near Pittsburgh and need a photographer, look me up. Cool. Nice. For sure, I'll keep you in mind, Brian."
Well, Brian, as far as basically what you're is just an understable mid-range, and I know the Fugitive is understable, but not exactly super understable. So the Tersis is one from Westside Discs that is very understable, and it would probably fly similar to the Witness for you, just a little bit shorter, maybe a hair more stable, but I would try either a Tursis or maybe a Fuse from Latitude. It's one of their original mid-ranges, I believe, that they've had out for a long time. One of those two discs would probably work out great for you.
Cool. And I agree with you, Brian, on the Witness. It is an awesome disc. I love it, and for me, it's the only disc I remember that I've been able to get to stand up.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Like
disc.
the Heiser Flip.
Yeah. All right, the next one is from Thomas. Thomas says, so I bought a couple of Truth in the Lucid Plastic, and I believe I have found my new mid-range disc. Awesome. The Truth will make you a believer. I have one that is overstable and one beaten in to be fairly straight, both near max weight. So my question is, what would be the best plastic and weight combination for an understable Truth? I absolutely love the disc and would like to cover all of my mid-range shots with this one mold if possible.
Nice.
Thanks for this awesome podcast and the information that you provide for newer golfers like myself.
Awesome. Glad you really like the Truth. You should go out and buy 100 of them.
Today. No.
I'm the same way. The only other mid-range right now that I keep in the bag is the Verdict for wind, but I do have an understable Truth, straight Truth. It's mostly Truths that are in my bag, of course. As far as an understable Truth, I would suggest going out and the Biofusion line that we have is very, very overstable, brand new, but they beat in a little quicker since it's that recycled plastic. They beat in just a little bit quicker and then become fairly understable for those nice hold lines. You want to just hold something, or just do what I do and continue to cycle Truths in and out of your bag. Get one really beat up that you like, throw another one in and start beating it up. And that way, if you happen to lose that one, you've got a replacement. You've got a backup for it.
Nice.
So those are a couple different options for you.
Nice. All right, well, we had 2 questions actually come in while we were doing this.
Nice.
So thank you guys for sending the questions. So I'm going to read this. This one is from, he says his name is Lunchbox.
Lunchbox. I like it.
He says, Bobby and Eric, can you explain what the bent elbow technique of throwing is all about?
The bent elbow technique.
Would this technique help someone like me who doesn't get a lot of distance on a throw? And then he wants to do a shout out to my local club, OCDG Dallas chapter.
Nice.
Thanks, Lunchbox.
All right, Lunchbox. Well, for me, there is no other way to throw a disc without. I mean, if you think about it, you don't extend your elbow out when you're throwing, because for consistency and distance and all that, you want to keep the disc as close to you as possible.
Yeah.
And you can't keep that disc as close to you when your arm's extended clear out here and you're trying to throw out around. The only time, the only time that I'm going like that is if it's a roller and I'm coming up over the top. But every other thing, elbow is bent, is coming in nice and as close to the body as possible.
And I think, I don't know, an episode a long time ago, someone told me what you do is you wipe the table.
Oh, yeah.
So you're wiping the table, and so that the disc comes across your chest. I don't know why that makes sense to me, but
because it's flat.
That's
probably why.
Because it's flat.
Bobby.
So it's. We need to set this up different so we can show people. But it's flat against your chest.
Yes.
And sometimes people will hit their chest because
Yeah.
they're trying so hard to keep it so close to them, and then
Yes.
Good stuff. Okay, put that away before we break something. Okay.
Thanks, Lunchbox.
Yeah,
Good question.
Yeah. All right, the next one is from Andrew, and Andrew says, hello, Team Trilogy member here. Oh, nice, Team Trilogy. What is your opinion on throwing custom die plastic or limited release discs? Would you be afraid of losing them on the off chance you threw an errant shot, or does it encourage you to make your shot? I have 2 Moonshine Judges that I use exclusively for night golf, and I love how more overstable they are than regular Judges. However, I'd rather not include them in my main bag because they will be hard to replace. Love the show, Andrew.
All right, Andrew. Well, as far as custom discs, die discs go, I would say throw them.
Throw them.
Because you can always go to diemax.com and buy more. I understand where you're coming from, though. If you have that sweet disc that, you know, is worth a little bit more than some of the others, more of a collector disc. Do you really want to throw it? Well, you know, for me, the answer is absolutely. I would throw it. But that's me. I'm not much of a collector, and I know there's a lot of collectors out there, especially, you know, now that that dynamic disc auction page is up, and there's a lot of cool discs going on there, including right now an Enforcer. Have you seen that thing?
Yeah.
It's an Enforcer, and it's got the Outlaw on the bottom, which is a disc that we were changing the name on. We're going to retool it, and there's only 40 of these things made, and it's going for like $85 right now. So you guys should definitely head over there and put a bid on that thing, because that thing's going to be amazing.
Now, what he's talking about is that we were going to name this Outlaw.
Outlaw.
And so Latitude, when they made the mold and disc, it said Outlaw underneath
the
here.
bottom, just like
bottom.
all of our line does.
Yeah.
All of our line has our name.
But since then, some things have happened. We changed the name to Enforcer. So it says Enforcer, but then on the other side it says Outlaw.
Yep.
And these discs are not PDGA approved.
No, they're not.
They
will not be.
Right, and they will not be. So you can't throw them in a tournament. But if you like to collect stuff,
There's only 40 of them.
there's only 40 of
And there's
them.
one right now up for grabs.
So,
But back to the question. You know, if it's a good disc, like you said, the Moonshine Judge, if you feel like it's more overstable, then absolutely throw it. If it's something that, you know, you're not in fear of losing, then so be it.
Yeah.
Throw it. You know, I mean, that's what the discs are made for, to be thrown.
absolutely. Okay, we had one more slide in. One more question come in, so we'll get this one and then we'll...
All right.
Okay, so Jamie says, a couple shows ago you talked about adding snap to a throw. What does that mean? How do you add snap? I was reading an article about snap, and it said you should bend your wrist. I've asked many people on throwing techniques, and no one I've talked to said to bend the wrist. Do you bend your wrist? Thanks, Jamie.
I don't think I think when you say bend your wrist, I think you're talking about when you bring it back. Is the wrist not necessarily bent, but curled? For me, I don't. I keep the disc nice and straight and level, and then I put extra snap or pop on the disc as it's coming through, which basically what I'm saying is creating more spin on the disc. By creating more spin on the disc, it's going to create it to fly that much further. I know a lot of ways to do it is with a bungee cord, by strengthening up your arm, tie it to a tree or the back of your car or whatever, and, you know, just kind of do follow-through motions with it. The resistance on it, you know, will help build muscles and all that. And then another way is just like snapping a towel. That's the snap we're talking about. You know, when you snap a towel, whoosh, snap a towel. Yeah, just like that. So that's basically the exact motion that we're talking about.
Yeah. Now, explain this to me, because I think I was confused when I first started. Because people would say snap, and I would literally hear some people.
Snap.
Yeah, when as soon as the disc their fingers would snap. That is not necessarily what you're talking about.
That is not absolutely not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the snap is the kind of the whip of your hand to get the disc to spin.
The spin on the disc.
So a lot of people misunderstand that you need that snap at the end. And
you don't necessarily.
Unless you're in a player's show. Anyway, all right, we're getting recording here. All right, so that's it. That's the last question here. So want to thank everybody for sending your questions. Remember, go to discgolfanswerman.com, and you can submit your questions there. And follow Dynamic Discs on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. We have a Twitter page. Instagram, and that's all Dynamic Discs. And we're going to do some more vines, and that is Dynamic Disc. And we're going to try a little Snapchat
fans out there.
So if you have a Snapchat, look for us, Dynamic Discs. And that's going to be even more exclusive behind-the-scenes pictures.
Like maybe when brand new discs come out, you get first to see them. Yeah. And we'll know if you screenshot it.
Do not screenshot anything
we'll know.
you do.
We will know.
We will un-Snapchat friend you. So anyway. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. And thanks again for the YouTube watchers. Thanks for tuning in. I think looks like we have 32 viewers. Thank you, guys. You guys are so awesome. We're going to try to do this every week. And it doesn't look like anybody sent any questions in the Google Hangout, so maybe we can figure out maybe some technical difficulties on that. But maybe next time we'll figure that out so you guys can send in your questions via the Google Hangout. So anyway, Eric, what do you got going on? Let's see. I think we talked about no tournaments coming up.
Just practice, and more practice.
And then now that the time has changed, now
man.
you got more sunshine, so more time to get out there and practice.
It's so awesome. The sun not going down until 7:30.
And I will tell you, I was really disappointed. We did do an in the bag in Arizona.
We did.
But the sound was crappy.
Beautiful cacti.
Yeah. Beautiful cacti in the background. Yeah. But it turned out well. It looked really nice.
It was great. There was a truck that drove by, like, watering. I mean, they don't need to water stuff in the desert.
Yeah, that's true. What are they doing? Watering in the desert?
Come on.
Plus, it rained.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to do it again sometime either next week or coming up pretty soon. We got some ideas how to do it. So stay tuned for that. Again, at the Dynamic Disc channel, youtube.com/dynamicdisc. So. Anyway, that's all I got. Tell them your shout-outs for your Twitter. And
I've got Instagram, which is Eric_McCabe. I've got Twitter, which is at EricMcCabe11674, because my name was taken already. And, of course, Facebook. You guys know how to follow me there. And, yeah.
All right, everybody. Take care.